My best friend offered me $50,000 to tell her husband I got her pregnant. The three of us had been friends since college, but Sophie and Ryan got married 5 years ago, while I was still recovering from my divorce. My ex-wife and I had spent 4 years trying to have kids, including 3 rounds of IVF that bankrupted us before the doctors told us my sperm count was too low to ever conceive naturally. Sophie knew all of this, which is why when she showed up at my apartment last Tuesday, her offer hit different. Ryan had been deployed with the Navy for 3 months, and Sophie was 8 weeks pregnant from her affair with her married boss. Listen to me, because this fixes everything for both of us, okay? Tell Ryan the baby is yours and that we made a drunken mistake one night while he was gone because we were both lonely. He'll forgive you because you're his best friend, and he knows you've been depressed about not having kids. You'll get to be in this baby's life forever as the fun uncle who's actually the biological father. I saved my marriage to a good man instead of blowing it up for some executive who won't leave his wife anyway. We both get what we need. I couldn't believe she was admitting to sleeping with her boss so casually as she pulled out a positive pregnancy test and set it on my kitchen counter like it was some kind of contract. You've always wanted to be a dad, and this is your only chance. Ryan loves you, and he'll forgive you because he'll think it was just one mistake. She left the test on my counter and walked out, saying Ryan would be home in 6 days and the math would be obvious. I sat there staring at that little plus sign for hours. Part of me wanted to say yes, because this was my only real chance at fatherhood. The next morning, I called Sophie and told her no, because I couldn't do that to Ryan. She got quiet, then said, "You're really going to let your pride destroy 3 lives? Ryan deserves better than the truth, and you deserve to be a father." 2 days later, Ryan called me. He was speaking very enthusiastically about his plans to surprise Sophie with a nursery renovation. We've been trying for a year before I left, so fingers crossed we'll have good news soon. Hey, you'll be the godfather, right? Can't think of anyone I'd trust more with my kid. The word trust hit me like a physical weight, and I knew I'd made the right choice. But that night, she texted me an ultrasound photo with the message, "This could be your daughter," and I realized she wasn't gonna let this go. Sophie showed up at my apartment 3 days before Ryan's return with a threat that made my blood run cold. I already told him we slept together, so here's what happens next. I'm putting your name on the birth certificate, and if you cooperate, I'll pay for your next girlfriend's IVF treatments, $50,000 worth. When I asked why she was doing this to Ryan, she laughed. Ryan's so desperate for a baby, he'll forgive anything if it means being a father. He actually cried on the phone when I told him about us because he thought it meant I didn't love him. God knows he'll cry enough for all 3 of us when you confess because he's pathetic like that. I bought a recording device and called her back for coffee the next day. She spent 20 minutes explaining her 6-month affair and exactly how devastated I should act when confessing. The worst part is, I've been on birth control our entire marriage, she sighed. 5 years of letting Ryan think we were trying when really I wasn't ready, but I knew he'd leave me if I told him the truth. When Ryan got home, Sophie texted me to come over immediately. I walked in and she held Ryan's hand with fake tears rolling down her cheeks. We slept together while you were gone and the baby might be his. The devastation on Ryan's face was like watching someone die, but before Sophie could continue, I pulled out my phone. "Ryan, you need to hear this." Sophie lunged for it screaming, but I hit play. Her voice filled the room. 5 years of letting Ryan think we were trying when really I wasn't ready. Ryan dropped her hand and stood up slowly. "Get out of my house." The divorce finalized 4 months after the baby was born, with Ryan getting full custody. We're co-parenting her now after he said I could adopt her as a second parent. Sophie lost her job when her boss's wife got the recordings, and we haven't seen her since.